Hello students. Recently there has been the competition of Miss World that has been conducted. You might be interested to know how the event was conducted. You might want to know who became the Miss World, how did the event has happened. But have you ever thought, let's just try to analyze this from the sociological perspective? In today's lecture, we are going to discuss this concept in 4 to 5 different dimensions. First of all, we will be trying to define a simple orientation of how sociology looks at this particular concept. Is it criticizing it? Is it supporting it? Or does it remain in a neutralized manner? Then we'll also talk about some perspectives such as how this is going to provide a functional view to the society. What are some of the conflicts that are going to get produced? And then we'll talk about different versions of feminism. What does it has to say regarding this world? And then we'll also talk about from thinkers' perspective. If you look at this event, sociology doesn't wants to talk that this is a beauty contest. Neither it is trying to talk about how beautification is supposed to be presented. Sociology is basically concerned that this event is going to shape the cultural norms of the society. It represents the value system of the society. We are not going to just simply criticize this concept that it is disrespectful to a woman or is it leading towards empowerment, but we will try to understand this in a institutional manner. Let's look at the definition. The sociological perspective of Miss World, it goes beyond and saying merely as a beauty pageant. It's not just a beauty pageant. In fact, it mirrors, it reflects the broader values, norms, power dynamics. Sociologist tends to analyze this as a form of a cultural institutions. It reflects the dominant ideas, gender, beauty, and class, and global identity. Now, what does the subject believes that this concept of Miss World, it is going to give certain important functional views as well. For example, what is the meaning of the word functional view? Oh, just a second. See, what is the meaning of the word functional view? Because of this event, there is going to be a large level of women empowerment that is going to be achieved. That is a good thing that we are having. And when the women empowerment is achieved, what things comes forward that from which particular nation is she is coming from. So Miss World also promotes some kind of soft nationalism as well. There is also that women tend to will have some global identities. So the ideas of feminism, the global identity that women are independent, they are supposed to not be controlled by men, the patriarchs, etc. So these are some important functions, and we also see in these events some large level of philanthropical activities are also going to happen. So some charity, some donations will also take place for upliftment of the women or the weaker sections. And then coming to the another side of the story, there is a conflict view. What does the conflict view say is that because of this event, it tends to establishes the patriarchal values of the society. So like how men tends to define that what is the beauty. So the ideology of male beauty, the male gaze, that is being reflected over here, and what this is going to bring, this will establish objectification of women, or it can also be called as commodification of women. So women are treated to be as a form of a commodity. That is one. And Miss World is also considered to be as an ethnocentric approach. It means that one particular ethnicity, they are the ones who are trying to define what a beauty is. It is mostly the European people who have started this concept. So it is an ethnocentric phenomena that is being represented. So the Western people, they are the ones who are trying to define what a beauty is beautiful, who is not beautiful, who is at the rank 1, 2, 3, etc. And not to forget, this event is also like a diversion. There are so many women issues that needs to be discussed, but they tend to remain ignored. So here this event is like a form of a diversion from the true women issues that we get to see. So the conflict view, it is trying to highlight that what is the problem with this phenomena. It represents patriarchal ideology. It creates commodification, objectification of women. Only Western view is being presented. It's an ethnocentric phenomena. It's a diversion from the true issues. And the symbolic view, they are trying to highlight that this construct the aspect of gender identity. This construct the gender identity. If you see the concept of that Miss World, she wears a crown. With that crown she is going to have popularity, fame, etc. Symbolic interactionism is trying to define this concept. It is trying to define this concept in an individual manner. So there are symbols which are associated with this: gender construction, gender identity, crown is the one, individual perceptions are there. Now now let's try to define what are the different feminist views. How do they look into this concept? If we take that feminism, it is in itself a form of a sociological perspective. There are so many different popular feminists who have spoken about it. But right now we are trying to look at how different sets of feminist groups, they try to look at this concept of Miss World. If you take a look at the liberal version of feminism, they are going to tell that this Miss World must be seen as an opportunity for exploration. And any woman who has been given this platform, she is going to use this platform as an opportunity, and what will happen due to that opportunity, she will be ending in earning some empowerment for herself. She will be ending in earning some employment for herself. This is going to bring some independent concept of women. So the liberal version, they try to support this concept. But the radical feminism, they are not in support of this. This is the reason why we are discussing this, because we usually think that all feminist people are supporting Miss World. No. The radical feminism, they are heavily critical. In fact, they say that any kind of beautification is something that must be looked down upon. This is like a beautification of women. If you beautify a woman, you strengthen patriarchy, you strengthen the male ideologies. So they say no beautification should be there, no objectification should be there, no commodification should be there. So radical feminists, they are being critical towards this. In fact, this also creates something called as prostitution of personalities. So Shulamit Firestone, she is a Canadian feminist. She has been critical towards this. The intersectionality approach is telling that only one view of European version has been presented. In fact, when you look at the concept of women, there is level of large diversity. Where is this diversity? This is not being captured. Marxist view, they are trying to highlight that what is this Miss World? It represents the form of the dominant ideology of the upper class. These dominant ideology, capitalistic people, they are trying to present some new sets of ideas, and you will use these platforms. The postmodernism, they say that there is nothing in this world that is considered to be as true, nothing is considered to be as false. How is this platform sees? It is considered to be as a choice of her own empowerment. If you want to take this platform, take it. If you don't want to take this platform, don't take it. You want to criticize this platform, then do criticize it. You don't want to criticize it, you want to stay nil or neutral towards it, stay neutral. All the views are important. Postmodernism says there is nothing called as ultimate truth. So one way to look at different feminist view are trying to define it. Now on the other hand, there are some popular thinkers who are trying to define this concept. For example, let's take a look how Marx would try to say. Karl Marx will say that this concept of Miss World, in fact, the right word should be here. What would you talk in the Marxist manner? That Marxism or Marxist view would say that this will bring some kind of commodification of the women, that the capitalistic people, the rich people, they are the ones who are going to use this opportunity to define and redefine itself. So it's a commodification of women. It promotes the ideas of capitalism. In fact, these concept of Karl Marx, it has been used by a feminist journalist Her name is known as Naomi Wolf. She has written that this Miss World is creating the concept of something known as beauty myth. In fact, there is nothing called as beauty. This is a myth that they are trying to create. And who is creating this beauty myth? This is created by the industries, the capitalistic industries. Or I can also say this is also created by beauty industries. There is a large lobby which is working behind how they are going to sell those beauty products by using these platforms. Weber is telling how I see this phenomena. This is like rationalization of beauties in the society. Weber has always spoken about rationalization. He has also spoken about the word called as bureaucratization. Beauty is a very subjective component. It is based on word social action. It is a value centric action, and they are trying to rationalize it. They are trying to bureaucratize this concept. So Weber is telling that this Miss World is rationalization, it's bureaucratization of society. And there is another sociologist, his name is Pierre Bourdieu. He is telling that this phenomena, this can be considered as a form of a cultural, it is a symbolic capital within the society. So it's a cultural capital, it is a symbolic capital. Pierre Bourdieu has discussed different forms of capital. So this beautification of women, it is creating a cultural capital, it is creating a symbolic capital. And then we are having one another popular sociologist. His name is Erving Goffman. He has popularized with in sociology by bringing something called as dramaturgical approach. What is dramaturgical approach? That everybody will try to present their own versions of self. And because of this Miss World, Irving Goffman is going to highlight that a woman is going to bring an act of femininity. They are going to act more in a feminine manner. This re-establishes the gender norms. This re-establishes how a woman is supposed to behave, how a woman is supposed to look. Different thinkers are trying to look at this phenomena. So what have we seen in our today's session? We are trying to look in a sociological manner the concept of Miss World. We first try to bring a value neutral way of looking at it. Then we have spoken about some functions. What is the good things that we are having because of this? If you talk about the good things, take a look. This is creating some women empowerment. It also brings some soft nationalism. Global identity is being given to women. Some philanthropic activities are there. In a conflict manner, it establishes patriarchal ideas, it objectifies women, it is a Western version of ethnocentrism, and they are divergent from the true issues. Symbolic view also we have discussed. And then the important popular feminist views, liberal, radical, intersectional, Marxist feminism, postmodern feminism. And then we are having Marx, Weber, Pierre Bourdieu, Irving Goffman, Naomi Wolf. All of them are trying to add their own perspectives. It is important to remember that women must not be objectified. It's important to remember they should be respected, not at the mercy of liberalization, not at the mercy of objectification. Men and women are two equal genders. Men must learn how to respect them. Women must know how to upgrade and empower them, not in the form of beautification, but at the mental capabilities, in mental attitude. So that's it in our today's lecture. This is the sociology of Miss World.